The man on my porch wore authority like a costume, a clipboard clutched in hand and a badge lanyard swinging from his neck. "Sir, I'm here to deliver a final eviction notice. You have 72 hours to vacate the premises." He didn't even glance behind him at the massive, weather-worn plaque mounted by the front steps that read, "Mallister Homestead, established 1862. This wasn't just a misunderstanding. This was war. My name is Evan Mallister, and the land beneath my boots has been in my family for generations. It predated the very concept of subdivisions and zip codes, had withstood world wars and tornadoes, and even survived the infamous tractor incident of '92, when Uncle Ray plowed through the kitchen wall after one too many. Now, apparently, it couldn't survive Karen Montgomery and her HOA. I knew her type the moment she offered gluten-free muffins and a 7-page complaint list at the neighborhood meet and greet. She had the smugness of someone who once binged legal dramas and assumed she could draft legislation. When her decorative envelope with gold embossing arrived, I laughed. Until I read it. Failure to vacate will result in legal proceedings and forced removal. 17 violations. My non-standard mailbox. An unapproved porch light. My barn, older than the township charter, labeled illegal. And my chickens? Now referred to as unsanctioned livestock. I opened my grandfather's oak desk and pulled out the original deed, signed in smudged ink and sealed with wax. It declared our land sovereign, historically protected, and exempt from any future residential covenants. I decided to visit Karen. Her home, an architectural insult in beige stucco, greeted me with trimmed hedges and overpriced lawn sculptures. She opened the door in tennis whites, sipping something green from a mason jar. I handed her the deed. She smiled. "Oh, I'm aware of your little land claim, but we've expanded the HOA boundaries for cohesion. And frankly, you're not cohesive." That's when I understood this wasn't about chickens or lighting. This was personal. I didn't go to barbecues. I didn't donate to her landscaping fund. I didn't cower when her clipboard militia snapped photos of my shed-me great-grandfather's blacksmith shop. Next morning, I received a countdown clock letter, 72 hours. Then came measuring tape across my driveway, flags marking structures. Karen had declared war. But I had history. I called the town historian, the county assessor, dug through archives, and found gold. Karen's HOA expansion was invalid without a unanimous vote, and I owned a third of the annexed area. Better yet, her decorative fountain sat 2 feet into public property. I stayed silent. For 3 days, she strutted by, flaunting fake legalese. Another notice, this one in hot pink, got barbecue-tonged into my fire pit. At the 72-hour mark, she arrived with her crew, matching polos and all. Her nephew Chad, the family legal eagle, read from a printout. "You're in violation of Municipal Code 4-16B. I handed him the deed and the township charter. Karen grabbed them. Her jaw clenched. Then the sheriff arrived. "Ma'am, we've had reports of trespassing. This land isn't under HOA jurisdiction." "But," she sputtered, pointing at her clipboard. "Ma'am, this deed's older than your neighborhood. You might want to leave." Battle lines drawn. But Karen didn't see defeat. She saw a temporary setback. Next morning, a new letter shoved through the fence. Marker scribbled like kindergarten homework. Now I was violating Zone 7 residential uniformity clauses. My porch swing disrupted visual harmony. My barn, an unapproved structure. Even my dog's collar clashed with the seasonal theme. It was ridiculous performance art. But then it turned malicious. Orange and yellow utility flags appeared across my property. A contractor's truck idled by the road. "Drainage pre-inspection," the guy said. Karen claimed my land caused neighborhood runoff. I called the county. They confirmed I was exempt. The contractor had no right to be there. He returned later, apologetic. That Karen lady said it was HOA mandated. Should have known. Karen wasn't done. Now came citations. Fake ones. $50 to $500 fines for overgrown fence post vegetation. Unauthorized flag, display me grandfather's military flag. I called, emailed, Got silence. So I attended the next HOA meeting. Held in a clubhouse that looked like a failed Froyo shop, I arrived early. People whispered, nodded. One leaned in. "You're the Mallister guy? Heard you made her cry last week." I hadn't, but I let him believe it. Karen entered like she was swearing into the Supreme Court. "Compliance is not optional," she announced. Then a slew of new proposals. No non-uniform paint colors, tractor noise limitations, restrictions on historical flags. I raised my hand. She hesitated, then called on me. I stood. "Evan Mallister. My family founded this town. Our land predates your HOA by over a century, and your jurisdiction doesn't extend to us." I held up the deed. Gasps. Murmurs. Then the town historian, Mr. Thompson, stood and displayed maps, documents, exemptions. Chad tried to object, then sat down fast. The room turned. Questions flew. Why were HOA funds used for this? Who approved the surveys? Why was Karen spending community money on a vendetta? I left to light applause. Quiet, respectful. Karen walked out pale, stunned. But she wasn't done. Garbage started appearing in my ditch. HOA newsletters mixed with banana peels. I had cameras. Footage showed her SUV. I sent it to the county. Next, a fire hazard complaint. My barn a threat, apparently. My cousin, the fire marshal, inspected and laughed. Filed a glowing report. Then came the fence. 2 contractors erecting a decorative barrier across my driveway. Only mine, not the neighbors. I gave him 60 seconds. Then fired up my backhoe. They ran. I removed the fence. Sent the bill to the HOA. More neighbors came forward. Fines for wind chimes. Mailboxes. Halloween decorations. A petition circulated. A financial audit requested. Karen panicked. Called a secret emergency vote to revoke my land's exemption. Locked doors. Invited only loyalists. Someone recorded it. When the footage leaked, it exploded. HOA funds had paid for Karen's garden, catered parties, and a winery retreat. She was removed in a landslide vote. Her resignation letter? For pages of passive-aggressive poetry. I laminated the court ruling. Nailed it to the fence post. Added a sign. Karen's law ends here. People honked. Dropped off brownies. Then, a plain envelope arrived. No return address. Inside, a handwritten note. "You may think you've won, Mr. Mallister, but some of us still believe in order. Enjoy your land. You'll be managing it alone soon enough." I burned it. Months passed. The HOA was dissolved. Replaced by a volunteer group. No duas. No fines. Just neighbors. I declined leadership. Suggested Brenda. She was elected unanimously. Karen's house sold. Rumors said she moved. Started a podcast. Or Karenville. Didn't care. On Founders Day, kids read essays. My ancestors' signature unveiled on the original charter. I spoke. I didn't fight because I hate rules. I fought because not all rules are right. Warm applause. That night, I sat on the porch swing. The barn glowed in the sunset. Chickens clucked. The wind rustled the oaks. And for the first time in a long while, it was quiet. It was mine, and always would be.